This upcoming tournament with the fate of the universe at stake is the perfect opportunity for me to manipulate even the all-powerful gods. In the end, I'll be the one who laughs last. You don't get to have everything go your way forever, Beerus.
Now that Black Frieza has been confirmed, one of the biggest theories floating around is that Frieza trained himself to the extremes in order to defeat Beerus. And when we break down Frieza's ambitions, this actually makes a lot of sense. Frieza is a control freak with a massive ego. The universe itself is massive, and in order for Frieza to have full control, he needs to be strong enough to fight against the gods themselves. But before he even gets to this point, he first needs to be stronger than the mortals. Henceforth, it would make perfect sense why Frieza would train for 10 years in order to dominate both mortals and gods. And just to give you an idea of how long 10 years actually is, Frieza originally trained for 4 months during Resurrection of F and attained his Golden Frieza state, which allowed him to fight against Super Saiyan Blues. 10 years is exactly 30 times the length of what he did in Resurrection of F, so that would just give you an idea of how powerful Frieza actually is now. Now, after Frieza died, it was revealed that he managed to do mental training in order to correct the mistakes that he learned in his Golden Frieza transformation. Now let's translate this to Black Frieza. Not only would he be training for 10 years to simply get stronger, but he would do it so that he could actually perfect his Black Frieza form. Frieza would be correcting mistakes that he's learned twice the hard way. Against Super Saiyan Goku on Namek, he managed to fight on par with the Super Saiyan in his 100% powered up state, but failed to consistently maintain that power output, which led to him being defeated by Goku. And then against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Frieza once again failed to maintain his Golden Frieza state, which caused him to start losing against Goku once again. And because Frieza is alive now instead of training mentally in a cocoon, his ability to train is far expanded, especially when he has so much time to train. Frieza is a planner, and if we know anything about his character, we would know that he would plan something like this all along. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, he learned the hard way that there is another mortal whose power far surpasses himself. Originally, he was going to use Broly like a pawn on the chessboard to accomplish his goal, the defeat of Goku and Vegeta. This of course failed, and Frieza was badly beaten by Broly and was luckily spared by Goku and Vegeta in the form of Gogeta. It's at this point where Frieza would realize that his plan to have a powerful underling in Broly failed and that he would need to be far above all mortals in the first place on his own. The events of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 87 directly showed Frieza disposing of Goku and Vegeta and showed Frieza sparing their life. But why would Frieza spare them? Is this character assassination, or does the alien emperor once again have a plan up his sleeve? Well, this directly takes us to Beerus. Frieza has always known from long ago that the existence of Beerus directly limits his expansive potential. Therefore, it would be imperative that Frieza would go out of his way to get so strong that he himself could compare to Beerus directly. Now, as far as Dragon Ball fans, we know how Beerus's power has become a running joke at this point. Super Saiyan God Goku was said to have pushed Beerus to 70%, and after this he learned Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, Ultra Instinct Omen, and mastered Ultra Instinct on top of that, in addition to also fusing with Vegeta as both Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and Vegeto, and yet Beerus is still believed to have been stronger. This infinite gap between Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta makes less sense as time goes on, especially if numbers and ratios were originally used to explain their power gaps. But despite all of this, Frieza would still have to push himself to the extremes to even have a chance at attempting something as ambitious as fighting against Beerus directly. And of course, Whis would never actually be a threat because as an angel, he's supposed to maintain his neutrality. So once again, why would Frieza spare Goku and Vegeta? Well, if Frieza directly killed them, he knew he would make a direct enemy out of Beerus. Let's face it, Beerus has gotten very soft since befriending Bulma and all of Earth's heroes, and because of this, he could go out of his way to kill Frieza simply because he just doesn't like him, and because he killed his friends. Let's also not forget that Beerus was the sole reason why Frieza is once again alive. He's alive because Beerus wanted to reward him for helping win the Tournament of Power. At this point, it's easy to understand that Frieza wouldn't feel like he is truly ready yet to try and overthrow Beerus, but we can also say that it's perfect within his character to betray someone who spared his life, let alone gave him another chance at life. Just look at the many times that Goku spared Frieza and Frieza stabbed him in the back. It's perfectly reasonable for Frieza to solidify himself as greater than the gods with his egotistical, egomaniacal ambitions. So nothing here is truly shocking to say when we compare his ambitions to his character. But there's another theory going around that Frieza wants to replace Beerus directly as a god of destruction. Now, we don't know the exact process that one goes through to become a god of destruction, but we can take a few educated guesses. This is of course based off of Toppo becoming a god of destruction under Belmod. It appears as if the position can be vacated for somebody else to claim. Or maybe killing a god of destruction can accomplish this directly. Let's go back to the Zamasu arc. By killing the Supreme Kais, the god of destruction also dies as well. Now of course, Frieza may not be fully aware of this since all of this was explained in an alternate timeline, but the goals of defeating Beerus alone is enough. Frieza's God of Destruction ambitions can also be fueled by the assassination attempt against him before the Tournament of Power. When given the opportunity, he was willing to hold Goku in Universe 7 under siege and switch his allegiance to Universe 4. Beerus of course came to the rescue and stopped Frieza's plan, but this anime-only scene gave us a glimpse of Frieza's mentality towards Beerus and his eventual plan to overrule him. Now you're probably sitting there and thinking, well, what about the manga then? Well, even though the manga never had the assassination scene like we saw in episode 95, the manga definitely hints at Frieza's long-term ambitions. Frieza first directly stated that he went through thousands of simulations in his mind of himself killing everyone. Beerus threatened him by saying, if you even think about that, I'll kill you myself, to which Frieza replies that he was kidding. A few pages later, we see another scene in which Frieza refuses to hold hands with Beerus in order to transport to the Tournament of Power. Beerus once again threatens him by saying that if he doesn't do this, he will destroy his soul, to which Frieza can never come back. And that caused Frieza to once again comply. He clearly understands that Beerus' status in the Dragon Ball universe is obviously a hindrance to him, and in order for him to fully consolidate his power, he would have to eradicate Beerus. Now, these two manga scenes combined with the anime make it crystal clear what Frieza's 5-step plan is. Step number 1 is to come back to life. Step number 2 is to re-establish his empire. Step number 3 is to eliminate Goku and Vegeta. Step number 4 is to find a way to eradicate Beerus. And step number 5 is completely theoretical, but knowing Frieza, it wouldn't be surprising if he ever decided to have eternal life once again. Or we can translate step number 5 back to what we said earlier of Frieza becoming a god of destruction, because, as we've seen, God of Destruction seem to be mortal beings with extremely extended lifespans. Now, out of these 5 steps, Frieza directly accomplished 3 of them. He successfully came back to life, he re-established his empire, and he easily disposed of Goku and Vegeta along with completely killing Gas and Elec, so at least in Frieza's mind, he no longer looks at Goku and Vegeta as direct threats to himself. Now, if we know anything about Frieza, we also know that he's extremely lazy. He only trains when he absolutely needs to, as shown in Resurrection of F, so the mere fact that Frieza would train himself for 10 straight years really highlights what his long-term ambitions actually are. So the question once again is, why did Frieza keep Goku and Vegeta alive? Well, apart from the original reason we gave of Frieza not wanting to directly anger Beerus at this exact moment in time, there are 3 other reasons which all make sense. The most obvious reason is that the plot requires Goku and Vegeta to be alive, even though it wouldn't really matter if Frieza killed them, since somebody else in the universe could just find a way to wish them back with either the Earth Dragon Balls or the Namekian Dragon Balls. The second reason is that Frieza truly meant what he said about leaving them off easy today. It's out of character and completely illogical from his point of view, but sentient beings often make suboptimal decisions at various points of their lives. And the third reason is that Frieza in a roundabout way needs Goku and Vegeta alive for some reason that we aren't fully sure of at this moment of time, outside of angering Beerus and even Zeno, who considers Goku a friend to himself. Now, there is another possibility that we haven't addressed yet, and to be honest, this one is very far-fetched, but it is that Frieza may have ambitions to expand to other empires or dominate another universe like Universe 6. Now, theoretically, this actually makes a lot of sense, because the strongest characters in Universe 6 are extremely powerful, but not quite to the level of Universe 7. And considering the fact that Frost is a much weaker version of Frieza, one could argue that Frieza could easily overthrow Frost and establish his own rule and take over Frost's empire. But the problem with this theory is that it's just not practical, because how would Frieza just get into Universe 6? And if he did get there, he would clearly need to be stronger than Champa, which means that he would already need to be stronger than Beerus first in Universe 7 before he feels like he can rival and fight other gods in destruction in other universes. Especially if it's true that Beerus is the stronger twin between himself and Champa as hinted by Vados. But most importantly, how would one just transport his empire over there? This seems like an ambition that is far too large when you consider how massive one universe is alone, and Frieza would need to accomplish a lot of other things first before he could even attempt something like this. The Granola arc had a brilliant concept, unique characters, and was initially moving into a very good direction, but the arc had absolutely no clue what the hell it wanted to do and fell flat on its face. You can look at Frieza as a safe option that came in to do damage control for a failing arc, or was just a pure marketing ploy to make Dragon Ball fans care by force by including Frieza into the story once again. Either way, most would agree that Frieza's entrance was awesome and that Frieza has the potential to turn the story around. But for now, we will see what Frieza and Dragon Ball has planned up their sleeves. So after watching this, you will definitely be interested in watching what if a second Tournament of Power happened, what if Vegeta quit fighting forever, and why future Trunks definitely needs his own movie. And until next time, stay cool and stay safe, my friends.